Afternoon, my name's Chris Gunn, and once again, this is my channel, Chris Gunn's Bourbon Barrel Creations. Saturday afternoon, hope everybody's having a good weekend. Thought I'd just take the time to cover something I've been meaning to cover for about a month. So back in November, the local liquor store here in Columbus, Georgia, Bottle Shop, they did a surprise Black Friday bourbon drop. So now, normally, like I talked about in an earlier video, this time of year for me is I'm heavily involved in being outdoors. I'm an avid whitetail hunter, a whitetail deer hunter, so I'm in the woods quite a bit this time of year. But I've been to these bottle shop drops before, and I've gotten fairly lucky almost every time I've been up there. So the first time I actually committed to it and got up there, I picked up a Jack Daniel's special edition, which was the single malt finished in, I want to say it was a sherry barrel. And then the next time I got wind of one of these drops, I went up there and I got a Heaven Hill 20-year-old corn whiskey, and my wife got in line that day, and we got a Jack Daniel's barrel proof rye. And then I went up there another time. I got a Jack Daniel's 12-year, and my wife got a Elijah Craig Ryder's Cup. And then the last time I went up there, I got a Jack Daniel's 10. So once again, it's just the way that the bottle shop does this is I just think it's kind of the best way to do it. You keep your allocations back till a certain point, and then you just announce it on social media, and then it's first come, first serve. So, back to the Black Friday drop, I'm getting up there in age, and I like to go to bed early, probably because my wife says I want to get up at 4 o'clock every morning, but I had went to bed on Thursday night. I had went to bed Thursday night fairly early, and I woke up the next morning and I had a text message from a good friend of mine named Charles. Says, "Hey, did you tracking this?" And I was like, okay. And I got up and I started prepping myself to go to the woods. And then I told myself, you know what, I'm gonna ride up there. And if there's a bunch of people up there, I'm just gonna keep going and I'm gonna head for the woods. So I got in the truck. I went up there. I got up there about 6 o'clock in the morning. The store opens at 9, and I walked up there and there was a list sitting there, and I said, okay, well, I'm going to be number 13 on this list. So I got a very good chance of getting something good. And so I put my name on the list, went and sat in the truck, and was going to try to nod back off to sleep. But I noticed that probably about 15 minutes after I put my name on the list that my friend Sean from Echoes of Eternity Bourbon walked up there. And so I shot him a text, and he walked over to the truck, and we spent the next 3 hours just catching up because we hadn't seen each other in a while. We ran down, got us some breakfast at Chick-fil-A real quick, used the bathroom, came back, and then we commenced to start talking to people. Now, the good thing about these, normally they're, it's the honor system, and for the most part, most people are pretty good with this. And, the good thing about Columbus, Georgia, you start to see the same people at these things, and you get to know them, and you get to, build these relationships and these friendships with them. So a friend of mine, Jason, showed up. He works in the Army with me, and he was like, well, I was going to go run this morning, and I noticed that this was going on, so I ran down here. Now, he had on a pair of shorts, and it was cold that morning. So I went back to the truck, dug my hunting pants out of the back of the truck, handed them to him, and said, here, put these on before you freeze out here. And I put a hunting jacket on, and we waited. So before I kind of get into what I got that morning, I want to just kind of back up a little bit. Not too long ago, I was watching one of Sean's videos, and someone had made a comment on one of his, had posted a comment on his video that it's not the bottles you remember, it's the people you remember. And that, that's a great quote. I like that. But, I'll kind of caveat that quote with my kind of thoughts on this. It's not the bottles for me as much as it's the memories that I attach to the bottles. Because you kind of look around this room and I can probably, for 99% of these bottles in this room, if you were to point out to them and ask me what the memory I have attached to that bottle is, I can tell you. The memories I have attached to these bottles for this drop are attached to the time I spent with Sean that morning, because I would have never guessed that I would get in line and I would pick up the first bottle that I selected, and Sean would pick up the same bottle. Now, with that said, the first bottle that I picked, I didn't think I was ever going to see one of these. So, you know, without further ado, the first bottle that I picked that day was the A. Smith Bowman Cask Strength. I knew these were out there, and I knew that at one point they had, if you had went to the distillery in Virginia, you could get these. Now, I've been told, I've never been able to confirm this, but I've been told that A. Smith Bowman is distillate from Buffalo Trace, and it's the same mash bill as blends. And then they take it back to Virginia and they run it back through their pot stills again, and then barrel it up there and leave it in the barrels until it's aged. This one is batch 3. It comes in at 135.1. I haven't opened this bottle yet. I'm waiting for a special occasion on this particular bottle. I've had this before. Sean got me a sample of it one time and I tried it, and I just thought it was phenomenal. What I find very funny about A. Smith Bowman was, I remember when I first saw it on the shelf and I had first heard about it, there was probably 12 of these, the single barrels, and I just said then, I picked up one and I tried it. I was like, man, that's really good distillate. But it's just one of those things, you don't know what you don't know, because if I'd known that A. Smith Bowman was going to be as good as it was, I would have picked up more than one bottle that day. But anyway, this is the Cask Strength, and once again, I picked this bottle up, and Sean was right behind me, and Sean picked up a bottle just like this. So for this particular bottle, the memory I've got attached to it is the time I spent with Sean that morning. Now, the good thing about the allocated drops at the bottle shop, they don't care how many times you go through the line, but you got to get to the back of the line. Once you go through, you just mosey to the back of the line and get right back in line again, and that's what me and Sean did. Now, the second go round, a lot of people expected me to pull the Master's Keeps, and they had even told me, dude, you know, everybody was, as soon as they saw them sitting on the table, they were hollering back in the line at me like, Chris, they got the Master's Keep, and I already had it, and I just didn't really feel like spending that much money that morning. Knowing what I know now, after I've tried it, I should have got the bottle that day, but I didn't. And so my second go round through the line, I picked up this, the Jack Daniel's 10-year, and this is batch 3. I already had one of these. Like I said before, I'd been to a previous bottle shop drop, and I got the 12 and the 10 at different times. So I got this as a backup bottle to the other one I've got. And just like everybody else out there, I'm on the hunt this year for the 14-year. So that was kind of number 2. And the third time I went back through the line, it was starting a little sparse on what they had on the table. Sean, the third go round, picked up the Haystack Needle from the company out there in California, and the name eludes me right now. I'm sorry. Sometimes, I guess I should have told people this at the beginning when I started making these videos. If I ever look like I'm struggling, it's because I've had a lot of concussions in the Army, and sometimes I have a hard time remembering a word or putting a word into a sentence, and I have to stop and pause for a while. But so anyway, I'm kind of ranting on, or I'm kind of getting off on a tirade here. But anyway, he got the Haystack Needle, and I know we tried it like about a week later. I was like, wow, that's really good. I should have got that bottle. But what I did get the third go round was the Buffalo Trace Kosher Rye recipe. And the reason I picked this up, I already had the wheat recipe. I'd had it for years. I don't think there's anything, like earth-shattering in this bottle. I think it's more the uniqueness of the bottle than anything. But I did have a buddy of mine tell me, he goes, that tastes like earlier. He said it. I think it tastes kind of like some earlier Elmer tea leaf. So we'll see. I'll open it at some point. So that was kind of number 3. Now, I went back a 4th time. The fourth time I went through, I didn't go through for myself. I went through for my little brother. And this is not the bottle I got him. I already gave him his bottle, but this was my bottle. I got him a Wild Turkey 70th anniversary release. Friend of mine, Allison, her and her husband, Jason, they live up close, very, very close. I think within 3 miles of the Wild Turkey Distillery. And when this first came out, I sent her a text and said, if you don't mind, can you run by and get this for me? And I'll pay you for the cost of the bottle plus the shipping and, you know, for your time. And she was very, you know, I was very thankful that she went and did it for me. But I've got, you can see I've been drinking on mine quite a bit. Big Wild Turkey fan. I don't think anybody at this point, it goes, wow, that's a surprise. You like Wild Turkey. Anyway, that was the fourth go around, and I picked this bottle up from my little brother. Sean picked up a Barrel Craft 33-year-old, and it was like a hazmat, and we tried it at a bottle share he had not too long after that, and it was pretty hot. It was very oaky. I kind of figured as much for a 33-year-old distillate. Anyway, so that was the Black Friday drop at the bottle shop. So, you know, can't say enough about the people who work up at the bottle shop and how they do business. They're always doing really good drops. They're barrel picks. They got a barrel pick program that's like second to none, and I always enjoy going up there. Going to be a pretty interesting couple of weeks coming up. Next week, Sean's going to do he's going to do a bottle share here in Columbus, Georgia, at the Heritage Center. If you're in the area, stop by, bring a bottle and have a pour with all of us. It's a really good time. I've always enjoyed these. Sean puts on a first-rate event there. And then the week after that, 13th Colony is going to do they're going to drop a single barrel at their distillery. So I'm going to go down there and do that. And that'll be probably the first 2 events for this year. Planning on going to Mississippi to the Spillway event with my little brother and Sean. And then later on in the year, I'm going to go to the Bourbon, Kentucky Bourbon Fest with my little brother. So looking forward to some of these events this year. I think they're going to be great. But anyway, like I said, it's as the other individual said, it's not the people, or it's not the bottles you remember, it's the people you remember. So if you've got a bottle out there that you're enjoying today, hopefully you've got somebody you care about that you enjoy it with, and you can build those memories. And until the next time, if you like what you see here, then please like, subscribe, and turn on your notification bell for alerts for further videos. And if there's anything you'd like me to cover or something you'd like me to show, please by all means put it in the comments. And thank you for spending time with me today.